Hi dear friends, welcome for the English class. Chapter 3, as we have already seen the first story, they talk about sort of inspiration. The first story that we saw, Seagull's family, small baby seagull, how due to hunger and also anger gets irritated and finally makes his first flight. Such an inspirational story it was. Today what we have is the second one, black airplane. Now we haven't seen so far. It can be colored black airplane, but we do not know because we haven't seen. We have seen silver type of. We may see far off, perhaps due to the shade of sunlight or color. But at the same time, here it can be a phantom plane. What is a phantom? It's an illusory. Perhaps it is there or not, we do not know. Okay. Now here, this isn't a story which can inspire, but which can inspire us spiritually if you want to understand from the spiritual point of view. This also is a story from a psychological point of view. It can also feed psychological norms and thoughts in you. We do not know whether the author who is giving us this explanation of such story, whether has he been suffering from psychological problem or has he got more illusions, or we do not know about that. But phantom plane perhaps comes there and he has given us that explanation. Let us understand the story and let us learn. Let's know at least what the story is. And later on we will be able to discuss what the exact lesson is all about. Story number 2, that is The Black Airplane by Frederick Fawcett. Okay. In the story, the narrator was flying to England with his family, which is exactly there is no mention of because. But when you read the story, we come to know that yes, flying to England to enjoy his holiday, he wanted to reach England in time so that he could enjoy a good English breakfast with his family. So perhaps it is a night and during night he is traveling because the breakfast can always be taken in the morning. Okay. The trip to England. The author was flying his aeroplane at night over France to England. So we have been given a clear-cut indication. The time was the evening time and from where? From France to England. He was eager to meet his family. Now, there is a contradiction. In the first we were said that he is flying with family, but we do not know, there is no other mention of. But here, yes, he is eager to meet his family and wanted to have a good hearty breakfast. He was dreaming of his holiday. The stars were shining. Now he has already, the journey is already begun. The stars were shining in the clear sky. Even the city Paris could be seen. He has started from France. So therefore, Paris could be seen there down below. He called Paris control to get instructed about the way. And we know that there is a radar system, and we know that the people who fly the airplanes, they will be given control from the control room. He was instructed to turn 12 degrees west. Okay, now we have, in order to have routes, we don't have roads and tracks up in the sky, but there are compass box, and we have with that, okay, with the compass, we have the route fixed. And that is what there. Fear of storm. Now the journey has begun. Okay, from France to England. Now what comes is a fear. See, fear is a common factor in both the stories. In first story, the seagull, baby seagull had fear of flying, making first flight. Here what we have is a fear of storm, because perhaps he is going at night, perhaps the route is new, and therefore he has developed a sort of fear. Everything was going well before he saw the storm cloud, and Paris was about 150 kilometers behind. See, he could see Paris. We came to know that when he has already left 150 kilometers, he could see storm, heavy breeze, dust, snow, clouds and all. And therefore, due to that heavy storm, he feels frightened. Okay. It was natural for the author to panic. And all of us, during the first rain or sometimes thundering and lightning, we also get frightened. We know every year it rains, but still when there is a lot of hard thundering, we get frightened. So same thing, when he is in his flight, he feels that. He knew that it was not possible to fly up and over those storm clouds, you see. And those who are pilots, they are very aware of in which condition, how much speed should be kept and where to pierce the road through. So that is what he was well aware of. He was confused, okay. He was completely confused in a rotomant. Why? What happens? Because he could face that coming towards. Now remember, my dear friends, just few minutes and he has gone in such a speed, and we know it's not like bike that you can take a turn all of a sudden. It's not like a car where you can just push ahead yourself. It's an airplane and it is going to a certain speed, and therefore he feels frightened. He has a lot of motion, lot of frightful things that he imagines. A risk but brave decision of the author. So that's next point that we need to have. See, remember in our life also, my dear friends, whenever we have a situation where we are dumb-stricken, when we are confused, we need to be brave. See, in first story, self-confidence was very much important. Here, the brave decision should be taken. Yes. A risk is always risky but brave decision of the author. In order to get successful in life, we need to take risk. So that is what this story also is telling us. As everything was fearful at the moment, the author decided to risk and flew into the storm. You see, first he thought it is difficult, but now he gathered his all courage and flew into the storm. But everything went, okay, berserk, which means the dark. Whatever he had thought, that did not, come on to his way. He has thought something and it has become something. Okay, for him it was now very much difficult to manage. The compass as well as other instruments stopped working. You see, they have gone. The instruments have gone off. He was unable to see outside. The plane was jumping and twisting. He could see his compass. The textbook says this. In the textbook it is given, okay, that everything, my eyes, you see, I could not believe my eyes, the compass was turning round and round and round, and when it starts turning round and round, when it gets spoiled, which means there is no proper direction. The plane has taken a lot of twists. Okay. The compass as well as the other instruments stopped working. He was unable to see outside the plane, and the plane was jumping. So the plane was jumping and twisting in the air. You see? Now you see the fright. He has already found it difficult to enter into. He gathered his courage to take that particular risk, and now he is nowhere because the plane is not in control. He tried to contact Paris control but could not. In the book it is given that there is no call, even the radio was off. He was lost in the storm. The next point, a black aeroplane appeared. So this is the story that we have. There comes, in this stormy, fearful, dangerous, hazardous situation, comes a black plane. Black plane. We do not know what sort of plane it is. Suddenly the author saw another black plane and the storm by his side without lights. Can you imagine? Black plane and there is no light at all on its wings. It seemed strange to him, but he was glad to see another person in the storm. From his flight, from his plane, he could see also the another person flying a black plane, having no lights, but he was very happy to see him because he was already afraid. The pilot of another plane waved at him and signaled to follow. You see, the another plane came to know that this plane is in difficulty and therefore gave a signal and waved at to follow. So that because he did not have other option except it. Now what happened? The plane which was flying from France to England, the pilot is utterly confused. He is having the dangerous situation. In that he sees that black plane. That is the only way out. So therefore, as soon as that black plane pilot waves at this plane, pilot feels very happy and wants to just follow, as he also has given the signal. Okay. The safe landing. The author flew for half an hour, which was quite strange to him, as he had fuel only for 5 or 10 minutes. Now 5 to 10 minutes, which means hardly a few kilometers. Yes, my dear friends, therefore it is going to be a dangerous situation in which 5 to 10 minutes were left for the fuel even, and in that he has now come out of that particular storm. That another black aeroplane helped him out. He felt tearful, but suddenly he saw two bright lines in front of him. See, as soon as he came out and there was a some kind of slowly the plane also came down, and as they were taking rounds, he saw two huge roads. What were they? Bright lights in front of him. It was the runway. Now runway is meant for either landing or takeoff. So here it is there. He was able to land safely, which gave him sight of relief. You see, where this plane came, we do not know. Who was the driver? Who was the a pilot? We do not know. It was just like a miracle for him. What is the miracle? Now you see, the author came out from his plane to thank the pilot in black of the black aeroplane, but he was shocked to see that no one there. He came out, then he goes to the control room to that particular airport. Then he asked that particular lady, which is there in the book it is given, and the lady denied that there wasn't any plane. It was only your plane that was flying tonight, and he is confused. He wants to thank. Control tower asked the woman about the place and the black aeroplane. Hearing his words, the woman laughed. She felt strange. Has he gone out of his mind, this man? Why? Because she thought that there was no other plane. Only this pilot has seen this black plane. Yes. It was a big surprise to the author. He was dumbfounded. My God. The plane which helped me, black plane, what sort? Can it be phantom plane, illusory, imaginative? Was it really spiritual help? We do not know. But there came a help from somewhere. He was dumbfounded and he has no explanation for his miracle. Now suppose if he shared this story, will anyone believe? Very difficult. Okay. So you also can have plenty of this sort of experiences. Whenever you were in a sort of difficult times, in a problem, there came a help. And we do not know how that help has come. Okay, let us have the highlight of the chapters. As we have seen the story, now we will sum up into the points. The clear sky with shining stars. Second, the author was about to meet his family for breakfast or at the breakfast. At 1:30 in the morning, the author flew in this Dakota aeroplane and he was instructed to turn 12 degrees west by Paris control room. He was around 150 kilometers away from Paris. The cloud storm approached him. He decided to enter the storm. He lost his way in the storm. All the instruments stopped working. A black airplane appeared by the author side in the storm. You see, it is a sequence. It's a beautiful story, my dear friends. Without much fuel, he flew for half an hour. He was instructed to follow. First, he was instructed to follow that particular airplane, and then, without even much fuel, he had to fly. He landed safely, coming out of that storm and on the runway. He went out from the airplane and went to ask to inquire about that particular black airplane. Got surprised because finds no one there. The author asked the woman control tower about the black airplane. She laughed. On the contrary, she was felt that has he gone mad out of his mind or something like that. A miracle with no explanation for the author which saved his life. So this is what, my dear friends, two different stories that we heard. Both are inspiring stories. The first of Seagull, where the baby seagull wants to make his first flight, and second one, there are stories in our life too, like black airplane, which helps us in the difficult times. Okay, so you can also write to me all your stories or something that you have, and whatever the notes that I keep sending, please read them. Thank you very much.